I mean, ultimately, we're gonna be good. And ultimately, we're ready for what happens next. And we're really excited because we're staying positive and I'm gonna be pregnant and it's gonna be... Hey guys, it is Saturday afternoon, and so far today we've been kind of running around a little bit, taking care of a few errands, like really boring stuff, because basically we want the next week to be as relaxed and stress-free as possible, because let me just tell you right at the top, our transfer is not canceled, and not only is it not canceled, they moved it up 3 days, and it's gonna be on Monday. So by the time this vlog goes out, we will have already done the transfer, and I'm so excited. And I'm also gonna tell you the whole story of the last week. I'm gonna try to stick to the bullet points, but crazy stuff went down, and it was a wild ride, a lot of ups and downs, but obviously we're ending on a happy note and the transfer is not canceled. But I want to tell you everything because it's been so frustrating and so crazy, and honestly I'm still mad about it. I was mad about it last weekend, and I'm not really less mad about it, even though I am so happy and grateful that we're doing our transfer. You know what, we're just gonna get right into it. It's the first thing I want to talk about in this vlog because it's the biggest thing happening right now, and I'm so excited. And I actually asked Grant to join me at the dining room table, as always, when we have something important and or crazy to talk to you about. So hopefully he's gonna help me not forget anything along the way, because a lot happened, like I said. So the last I talked to you, it was Sunday, and I was most concerned about the lupus flare, which I'll say up front has improved. And I think it's improved because we added progesterone in. I don't know that for a fact. Honestly, I've been completely distracted from the lupus flare and the lupus situation in general, even though it is very important to me, and I can actually put focus back on it now after all this crazy stuff has happened. But everything else really took my attention away from it. And the other thing I was concerned about on Sunday was the positive ovulation predictor kit that I took just because I wanted to, because, well, if you didn't watch the last vlog, you definitely need to see that one, because I'm not going to go over all of those details again. I got a positive ovulation test on Sunday, and the on-call doctor basically told me, like, there's no way you're ovulating by what your ultrasounds look like from Friday, and just don't do that. Like, she literally said, like, well, just don't do any more of those, which, like, at this point, I'm really annoyed that that happened, and obviously mistakes are made, and like, we're just on the phone and she can't know absolutely everything, but like, really frustrates me. So I had an appointment set for Monday to come back in for a blood test and ultrasound, just to see where I'm at and to like make sure I'm doing okay. And we were gonna check, you know, if I was ovulating like the test told me, and also where my progesterone was, where my lining is, all of that business. And I wasn't set to come in until Friday, like yesterday. But since I'd had these issues with the lupus and the positive test, I was coming in early on Monday. So did that, very frustrated. I honestly felt like all is lost. Like, I felt like I ovulated, I got this positive test. Like, why would I get a positive test? And I know that people with PCOS can get positive LH tests that are like false positives, but that hasn't been my experience so far.
Never.
Yeah,
Never.
They've been pretty reliable for me almost the whole time that I've been using them. I guess I used them a little bit before, but most of the time I've been using those OPKs. I've been doing it in conjunction with going and getting sonograms and having blood tests. And so I was able to see, like, I'm getting a positive test and I'm ovulating. So I pretty much trust them, even though I know there can be flaws. But, you know, even in that vlog, you can see me, I'm like trying to be relieved by what the doctor told me, like, you're not ovulating, it's okay. Like, I wanted to feel better about that so much, but I was still like, why is it positive? But why is it positive? I was trying to not trust myself and not believe what I knew was true. Yeah. And it turned out she was wrong, and my LH was surging, and my progesterone, I think, was slightly elevated, but it wasn't so elevated that would give us the sign that I had already ovulated, because if you don't know, after you ovulate, your progesterone goes up. And when I talked to my doctor that afternoon, on Monday afternoon, I was like
just so frustrated. It was just awful. We were both so frustrated and so bummed out. And she basically was checking in with me about the lupus stuff, but also I was like, okay, did I ovulate? Like, this is what I care about. Like, are we canceled? Because if I had ovulated early, the transfer would be canceled and we have to wait another month and a half. And since I've been on this estrogen, would it be delayed even another month? We don't know. So just didn't want to have to deal with those extra challenges. So she was looking at everything and she was like, okay, well, looking at your numbers and your blood tests, it looks like probably you're ovulating and your progesterone will go up tomorrow, so on Tuesday. And normally I would tell you to just start your progesterone on Monday night, but the reason why you can't do that is because if I started on Monday night, and I know this is too much detail, it would set me to have a transfer on Sunday, and they don't do transfers on Sunday. So yet again.
Yeah, that was part of it, but it was also you hadn't been on the estrogen long enough. So even if you were able to salvage it early, you may not have a good lining, and so.
But I did.
But you did, yeah.
But I did, because they checked it on Monday and it made a lot of progress over the weekend from the elevated dose. So yeah, there was just multiple factors that kind of were setting us back. And she was kind of like, sorry. The best we can do is you can come in on Tuesday morning, so the next morning, get another blood test. We can check your progesterone and make sure it hasn't jumped up, but she was also predicting that it would jump up. And the only way that we could still continue with the transfer is if it hadn't gone above 2, but ideally it would stay under 1. And that was not the prediction. But she was like, well, we'll just try it, like, hope for the best. And I was so frustrated. And it's not frustration with one thing, it's like frustration with everything. And, you know, my body, the system, the fact that they don't do transfers on Sundays, the fact that I'm ovulating early and it wasn't caught. Like, did someone drop the ball? Not really sure, because, you know, I had just been in on Friday and they had looked at the ultrasound and done the blood test. Like, how did they not see this? Like, these are things that I honestly just don't know, and I'm not accusing anyone or anything like that, but it's just the whole thing. I was frustrated. And by the end of the call, we had set up me coming in the morning, and I was just like, is there anything we can do? Like, we've got to do something. Like, I don't even remember exactly what I said, but I was just kind of like, last ditch effort, last second on the phone with the doctor, because really you just don't get tons of time talking to the doctor, and their time is precious. They have a lot of appointments to keep. And I was just like, we got to do something. Like, I can't just throw this away and have all of these factors that have been so out of my hands hurt our cycle, basically. And she was like, wow, and you could like hear the wheels turning. And she was like, do you have a ganirelix shot? Which is a shot that we did during this stimulation. And I'm pretty sure the main purpose of that shot is to keep you from ovulating early while you're doing your stimulation. And we ran and checked, didn't have a ganirelix shot, and we were just like, okay, do you have an extra one in the office that we can take as a loaner? And she was like, I'll get the nurse to check, then she'll call you back, la la la. And she called us back pretty quickly, and they
had one.
And they had one,
luckily. And so we
drove to the doctor.
Literally just got in the car
immediately.
Hung up and got in the car. I was luckily off of work that day early, raced up there, ran in, got the shot, and took stuff to do it in the car, and we did it right there
in the parking lot.
In the parking lot.
Because she pretty much said, do this as fast as humanly possible. She also said, this is probably not gonna work. And she had major doubts, and from the way that she threw it out there, it kind of seemed like this is definitely not like a by the book kind of thing that typically happens.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad we did it, because I went in on Tuesday morning and my progesterone had not gone up, and it wasn't over 1. And it was basically in the perfect spot it needed to be for us to start progesterone that day on Tuesday. The progesterone shots that everyone talks about, that it's like the most like painful, like basically the worst part of the whole IVF thing, shot wise, like more painful. We started those on Tuesday. I talked about it on my story. If you don't follow my story, you're definitely not seeing like the real-time updates, but I was so excited, so happy that we got to do these horrible shots, because that meant that we were still on track to do the transfer, and the transfer is on Monday. So far we've done 4 of the progesterone shots, and we have to do it every night, and we're going to continue to do it every night into the pregnancy, and they're not fun. We have like a whole ritual around them. We've gotten a lot of advice, and we've kind of combined all the advice that we've gotten from friends on like how to make these shots more doable and less painful. I'll show you everything that we've learned, so maybe if you're going through the same thing, maybe they're helpful for you, but we'll do that later tonight when we're doing our shot. But like I said, I am still kind of frustrated about how this has gone down and how many challenges we faced with every single step along the way. And well, especially on Monday and Tuesday, I just could not stop thinking about how I would have ovulated and no one would have seen or heard or known or whatever, because I didn't have an appointment set until the following Friday. So if I hadn't done that ovulation kit, that the doctor on call literally told me, like, you shouldn't be doing that. There's no way you are ovulating. And I'm sure she was doing her best and, you know, using the information she had on hand, but it's just so frustrating that I knew and I took these steps on my own. And then also whenever we were on the phone with the doctor and I was like, please, is there anything we can do? And like pushed even harder. And I mean, obviously I'm still being friendly and trying to be a good patient and everything, but it's just, but I was just kind of at my wit's end in a way, and just so discouraged and so frustrated. And just obviously, if you've been watching along with everything we've done, I'm willing to do anything. Like, I'm taking all the necessary steps. I'm making every sacrifice possible. And it's just crazy to me that if I hadn't pushed, you know, that inch further, she wouldn't have thought to recommend doing the ganirelix shot. And we would have missed it. I would have ovulated and the transfer would have been canceled for who knows how long. And I don't know, to me, this whole story, which obviously it's a good story, happy ending, I'm so grateful more than anything, more than any frustration or annoyance or whatever. I am so grateful and excited and happy that we get to do our transfer, and there's nothing but positive feelings there. I just feel like I want to highlight that stuff because I want maybe that to be almost a lesson to you as it was a lesson to me, that you know what's going on. And obviously we don't know everything that doctors know, and they are an amazing resource and there to help, but they have a lot going on. And especially if it's like on the weekend and blah, 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 like all that stuff, you know, you have to speak up. If there's something going on and you know it's not right and you feel something, like you have to kind of take it into your own hands in a way. Like obviously I didn't like take everything into my own hands, but I pushed that inch further basically. And I'm so happy I did, because honestly, I saved this transfer. We did the shot in the parking lot, honestly, with no hope. Well, we still had hope, obviously, because we raced over there as fast as humanly possible. But the doctor had little hope for it, and it worked. And I feel like it's a miracle. I feel like prayers are working. I feel like it's just the best thing. I'm just so happy. And through the week we decided on an embryo, which was a process because we had to have phone calls with the embryologist, the genetic specialist, and it's just a lot of information to go through, and it's a big decision, of course. It's a very exciting decision, but basically the transfer is on Monday. We are so excited, and I want to thank you guys so much for your support, especially through this last week, because I've gotten so many sweet messages, way too many messages for me to get back to, but it just means the world to me that you guys are rooting for us and praying for us. And just, I mean, it's just like priceless. I don't even know how to describe it. It's just incredible to me that you guys can support someone that you don't know. And I don't know, I mean, obviously I've been here for a million years. Like, I should be able to wrap my mind around it, but honestly, I can't. And this is such a huge moment for us. And we are so excited and so hopeful, and obviously we don't know what's gonna happen, but we've done everything in our power to set us up in a good spot with the best odds, and we'll see. It'll be a Christmas miracle.
Christmas miracle.
I feel like I did not let you talk at all through this.
No, you did a great job telling the story though.
But I mean, like I said, through this whole thing, it's a roller coaster and it's not an exact science. I think they are doing the best with what they've got, and my body is doing what my body does, and it's hard to coordinate everything. And I truly believe it is a miracle every time a baby is born, whether you have fertility issues or not. Like, magic has to happen for all the stars to align to make that happen. And maybe it's been harder for the stars to align for us, but I don't know. This is the closest we've been to a yes so far, and it feels really good.
Yeah.
Because it was almost really sad. It was almost a really, really, really sad week.
Yeah.
I'm still like wound up over it, but it's a much more excited feeling. And we're definitely planning on having a very chill, stress-free week because I'm gonna be pregnant.
Yeah.
Pregnant until proven otherwise. That's what people say.
It's true.
If you've never heard that for people doing IVF and stuff. So yeah, this is, I mean, it's so huge, like I don't even know what to say about it.
To be continued.
Yeah, to be continued.
I'm very excited too. I feel like this is, I feel like just because you struggle with something doesn't mean that that's not the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, no, of course.
So I don't feel like discouraged that it's been hard, because sometimes that's just the way things are.
Yeah.
And it's just the path you take. And, at this point we're in a really good place and everything's looking great. And we're ready for the big next step.
Yeah. And I do feel like even though we've gone through tons of challenges and we've definitely heard that it can be very hard on couples, and I believe that completely, I do feel like it's brought us together more. Going through the really, really hard parts has been very hard on us. I don't want to paint it in a completely positive light. We have had hard moments between us because of maybe specifically like the second retrieval, whenever I had so many complications. That was a really scary moment for us, for me, just in general. And it was a very discouraging moment. But I feel, looking back right now, I think that it's made us stronger, and we've definitely come together over it more than it's taken us apart.
Yeah.
But I could see how it could do that for people.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Because it's just a lot of bad news, and it's very hard to deal with.
Yeah.
And it's hard to like stay positive, but
yeah, I think in this journey, if you're going into it, you have to prepare yourself for having more bad news than good news.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the time.
That's definitely true.
And it's going to be a struggle, and even if you go in with an easier than average path, it's still going to be very difficult.
Definitely. Yeah. It feels good to be right here now, finally.
Yeah.
All right. I tried to make the story as brief as possible. I'm sorry. I try to give a lot of details just so there aren't just like questions looming or people asking things that I very easily could have included a detail that would clear it up. You know what I mean? So I'm sorry that I tend to run long and ramble about these things, but I just want to answer questions before they come up. So that's the story of the last week. Right now, I'm gonna make some Christmas treats that we're gonna use for gifts. We're gonna be making spiced pecans, and we're gonna be making Alabama crackers.
Hot saltines.
That's not a good name. Hot saltines. These are both very like common things to make. You've probably made them before, but I've never made these two specific recipes. So we'll have to try them, even though they're supposed to be gifts.
A little sampling.
So we'll be able to tell you if these recipes are actually worth doing, or like if you want to make them for somebody for the holidays, or if you just want to make them for yourself for the holidays, understandable. But that's what I want to do right now because I feel like they might take some time. Okay, let's do the recipe and stop doing what we're doing. All right, so before we get started on these recipes, I think Grant is going to help me. I wanted to show you these really cute tins that I found at Target. I'm not sure if they sell them online also, but this is yet another Christmas fascination I have. I just love Christmas tins. Like, when else do we buy metal boxes for food? And super cute ones are not that easy to find. Okay, and over here we've got all the ingredients at the ready. and we've got our 2 recipes. I like to print out the recipes because I'm an old lady. We've got an Alton Brown recipe. Can you even guess who picked this one?
This guy.
Alton Brown's biggest fan right here.
Junior.
And then we have the Alabama firecrackers. Exactly, they were firecrackers. Grant wanted to call them hot saltines. Hot saltines. It's my understanding that there's kind of a bunch of different ways that you can make this recipe. I've never tried this one before, like I said, but we'll see if it's really good if you've never tried them before, or if you want to give me tips on how you make them, definitely let me know in the comments. We're just going to be making 1 batch, so it's going to kind of be like a tester batch, but if they're good, it's definitely going to be a gift. They look pretty well coated, and all we have to do now is let them sit, and every hour we're gonna flip them to make sure they're super well coated, and then they have to sit overnight, and then we'll finally get to try one. But honestly, just looking at this, I wanna try one right now. All right, now it is time to move on to the spiced pecans. Just a question. If you're a person that says pecans, I would like to know where you're from, because honestly, I've never met a person that says pecans, and I've said pecans my whole life. That's what my family says. No judgment, just wondering. We had a slight mishap along the way. We did 1 step out of order, but they still smell and look really good. So I have hope that they will work.
Spread these suckers out.
Oh yeah, baby. It's Christmas.
It's Christmas this time of year. Okay, how about that?
Dun 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 dun. Alright, we're gonna pop them in the oven for just a couple of minutes because one of the comments said it was a good idea. We're going with it.
Yeah.
Alright, so we just took a little break and did some stuff outside, but we're both really ready to do a taste test. And we're both really concerned about these. Like I said, there was a little mishap along the way, but just looking at them, we feel like it actually did make an impact. So if these have to just be a trial run, okay. They're not all the way dry though.
The overall flavor's good. I mean, we need to redo them, I think, is the bottom line.
They're very buttery. They're not sweet enough.
Super buttery. Yeah.
Like, I think that this recipe just does not have enough sugar, because I want, if you remember last Christmas, we did pecans like these, but they didn't have any cayenne, cumin, any of that. They were just much more focused on the brown sugar element, like really coated in sugar. And I think those turned out great, and those are much more like the kind of pecans I'm used to having for Christmas. My mom calls them rodeo nuts, and they're really, really good. These have the spicy element, which I love, but I wish it was more sweet with the spicy. So
you can increase the sugar.
Yeah, we can add more, but the buttery flavor is really good.
Super buttery, yeah.
But the thing that we did wrong is we added the butter in at the wrong time.
I think that's probably why it's so
Huge
buttery.
mistake, but doesn't taste bad. I mean, I won't hate eating these.
Yeah.
But I feel like we need to redo it to give it a fair taste test and actually pack up this gift and get it out.
Yeah.
They're not bad. No, but I think they could be a little better. Wait a second, are we redoing it right now?
I don't know.
I guess we are. He's getting the ingredients back out. We're doing it. Really, they were not hard at all. And really recording the process of making anything makes it take double the time. So we're just gonna whip up another batch and do another taste test.
Do it to it.
Actually, I think the last bite that I had was really good.
Yeah, if we get it right, these are gonna be really good. They have a very unique flavor to them.
I love the spice mix.
Yeah.
Okay, it seems obvious to me. I don't know if it seems obvious to you, but this looks so much better than last time.
All right, I think we're ready.
Okay, let's get them on here. Oh, they look so good.
Yeah.
All right, time to do a little flip. I didn't mention this as we were making them, but we used the mini crackers really just because I thought they would be cute, and I don't think it'll make a difference. I want to try one so bad.
You want to sneak one?
You want to sneak one?
Let's sneak one.
Me and Grant can never wait for anything. Ooh, they're really greasy. You're definitely not supposed to eat it early. Not spicy enough.
Yeah.
Okay, I've decided we need more red pepper. I really don't know what happened along the way, but it took about 45 years for our feast to arrive. I couldn't be happier. I don't know. Where's the meat?
They forgot the meat.
No. Grant!
Gotcha.
My life is a nightmare. Oh my gosh. Here we go. Also, can we just take a second to appreciate these socks? I actually think Grant got me these socks for Valentine's Day this year. I don't know. Grant definitely gave them to me for some kind of romantic moment, and I love them so much. They have Luna's exact face all over them. I don't have a link. I have no idea where he got them, but they're perfect. Dun, 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 dun. Start spreading the news. Start spreading the news. All right, we just finished up dinner really late, and it's time for my shot. It's a progesterone and oil shot, which means it's really thick, and there's a really, really big needle that you use to draw it up. Then you get a slightly smaller needle to actually do the injection, and we have a whole ritual around it to help it not hurt as much, because it can hurt going in, but then also it can get really sore after. So for anyone that is maybe going through this and hasn't heard these tips, or maybe it could be in your future, hopefully this is helpful. But just as a warning really quick, if you don't want to see a needle, there's going to be one for the next like 1-2 minutes. Just skip ahead. So here we are with the big needle that you use to draw up the progesterone. I showed this on my story the other day, and I got so many messages like, I swear when I did IVF, the needle was not that big, but you just have to use a huge one like that to actually get it into the syringe, and then you switch it out. So the first thing that we do to kind of help the process go a little smoother is we put the progesterone and oil shot into this heating pad that's set on low, and we leave it in there for, I don't know, a couple of minutes or so, just to let it get a little bit warmed up. Not hot, just a little bit warm. And that way the oil will thin out just slightly and inject a little bit easier. Because it takes a little force, doesn't it?
It is hard to inject, even with it warm.
And then while that is warming up, I get out my little Buzzy Bee. I think we ordered this on Amazon. It was a recommendation from a friend. And basically what this does, you hit the button up here and it vibrates. I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be used for children, but it totally works for this purpose also. So this thing buzzes right near the site of the injection, and I don't know how it works, but it just trips your body out and you don't feel the injection the same way as you would without it. And the really cool thing about this Buzzy Bee tool is that these little wings are actually an ice pack. And so you connect it at the back like this. Before the injection, you hold the ice pack on the spot, and then You turn it on and you move it slightly out of the way, but close to the injection, and it buzzes and confuses your body. It's kind of incredible. I'm not gonna record the actual injection. I don't think we need that, but that's what I'm about to do. I'm gonna use my little ice pack and turn on the buzzer. And we're done. Another successful shot. Thank you so much.
A pleasure.
All right, the injection is done, and what I do immediately after is, of course, if there's blood, I hold it on the spot, try to get that to stop, and then I do some squats. We've gotten the advice to either do squats or to walk around for a while, just to get things moving and not let it sit in one place, because you can get lumps, and apparently the lumps can be painful. I don't want that, so I get in some squats. I haven't been working out this year, so why not? I'm a little out of breath. I'm usually not talking while I'm doing it, but I do think it helps. Oh, and the other reason why I didn't really want to show the shot is because you get the shot right here. It's like on your upper butt, kind of, not your lower back, like your upper butt. So I'm a little bit exposed when we're doing these shots, but you alternate from this side to this side to this side to this side. So we've done 5 now, so that means I've gotten 3 on this side. It's definitely pretty sore. Wow, I'm out of breath from trying to talk and squat. Okay, and after that, my last step is to stop by and tell Luna she's really cute when she's having dinner. She doesn't care. No, my real last step is to come back over here to the couch or the bed or wherever, Luna's toy, and plug in the heating pad over here and pretty much sit on it. Use the heating pad where I got the injection, and honestly, I don't really have like a time limit for how much I do this. I just do it until I'm sick of it, basically. The first couple of days, I didn't think this step was really helpful, and I kind of just thought it was more annoying than anything, but after the first 2 days, well, the third day, I realized, no, it actually is helpful. For whatever reason, the first 2 days, it was basically not painful at all, and I was like, either these tips are helping so much that I don't feel anything, or everyone else is just a baby. Obviously, that's not true, because everybody warns you about these progesterone shots for good reason. They definitely make you sore. It goes straight into the muscle and it is thick. It's not the best thing in the world. The first 2 days were fine, but then after that, I've definitely had some soreness, and all of these tips have really come in handy. I know it's a lot and it probably seems dramatic if you've never done it before, but they're really helpful. And if I can even help just one person feel better about doing these shots, I'm happy about it, because people told us these tips and I'm so grateful for that. I will also say, I don't know if you can really tell, but like, I am breaking out so much. I guess it's the progesterone, but I feel like it started even before the progesterone. So maybe the estrogen, I don't know. I don't know what's making me break out, but it is real bad, and I feel like I can't use like my heavy duty spot treatments, like prescription stuff, because I'm leading up to this transfer and I don't want to use anything. I don't know, I'm probably reading into it way too much, but I'm just trying to be on the safe side and just break out like crazy. Like, I don't even want to talk about it. And I feel like my makeup is breaking down. It's been a long day, so you can probably tell it's not pretty. Anyway, I think we're gonna have some dessert and keep watching Veep. We've been rewatching Veep for months. We've been rewatching it for so long and taking little breaks and watching different shows, but it's fun to rewatch. Okay, my arm's about to fall off. All right guys, it is Sunday morning and I'm all suited up to go outside and do a little repotting. It is really cold. It's been raining all morning. It's kind of slacking up a little bit now, but it is dark and it is gloomy, and it's definitely a day I want to sit inside and watch movies. We started watching The Sound of Music this morning and it was glorious, I tell you. It was wonderful, but I really want to get this repotting done. I've been putting it off for a couple of weeks. I have 3 bromeliad pups that really need to be repotted because they're huge. And also, after all the issues I've been having with my pothos, I really want to repot that one into a bigger pot, because I'm pretty sure all the issues are coming from it being root bound. So we're gonna make that happen today, because honestly, and I don't know if I'm being kind of crazy about this, I've heard some stuff about how you don't really want to deal with gardening stuff when you're pregnant, and the transfer is tomorrow. And yes, this is not the most sunshiny, wonderful day to go outside and do repotting, but I just want to get it done. So I'm gonna make it happen this morning.
and I need to put some real shoes on because it is cold. It got super cold yesterday, or at least super cold for here. I think it's like in the low 40s. Not great. Okay, here's our little pot selection for the day. Here is my pothos that is still yellowing, but it's definitely gotten a lot better, but I still think it needs to be repotted. It is huge, I know. And then here is the bromeliad that I'm gonna be working on. Look at these pups. They are definitely over half the size and way past due on repotting. Okay, that was a super quick turnaround, but now we're in the car, on the road, on the way over to our friend's house, and we're gonna have lunch. And the plan for today was actually to go to the Arboretum, and they have like this whole Christmas event, and we wanted to see that. But since it's raining and it's so cold, probably not gonna happen, but we're at least gonna have some lunch and get to see them, and that will be good. I threw a bow on a bottle of wine. Does that make it Christmassy? I feel like it does. All right, it's been more than a few hours since we've been home, and we're about to have some fajita leftovers from last night. This stuff is so good. We ordered from Chewy's, and I don't think I've ever had it before, but I'm obsessed with it. I don't even really know what they call it because we just ordered it in. All right, tonight really feels like it's going by so quickly. It's already shot time. I'm about to do my progesterone shot and the whole ritual that goes along with it. And I feel very ready and I feel very excited. Somehow in this whole process, you become excited to do shots. It doesn't make sense when you're not doing it, but if you're in my shoes right now, you would totally understand. And if you've been there, I know you understand.
Good to the last drop.
All right, it's the end of the night. It is the night before our transfer. And I'd totally be lying if I didn't say that I'm a little bit nervous. I mean, there's nothing to be nervous about. There's nothing that I can do better or worse necessarily to make it work, but I don't know, maybe that's where the slight nervousness comes in. It's just like, I wish there were like steps that I could take to, I don't know, make sure it's successful. But that's just not how this thing works. But we're hoping for the best. We're just gonna be staying positive and being stressless this week, or at least do our best to do that, or I'm gonna do my best to do that.
Definitely.
It's a really big day. Everything that we've been doing for the past year, 2 years, forever.
All comes down to this.
Yeah, it's all leading up to this.
Yep.
So no pressure, right?
There's no pressure.
But I'm so excited. I'm so excited we're finally here. I have really high hopes, and I feel like that's all you can do. I mean, obviously you have to be realistic, and we know the odds, and there's of course a chance that it might not stick, but we've done absolutely everything that we could do to make sure it goes well. And after that, it's just gonna be what it's gonna be, and that's okay. I mean, ultimately we're gonna be good, and ultimately we're ready for what happens next, and we're really excited because we're staying positive, and I'm going to be pregnant, and it's going to be what we've always hoped for and wanted. And
Definitely.
I just don't even know what to say because it's like such a big moment, you know?
Yeah.
Like there's nothing I can say. And I haven't shared on Instagram that tomorrow is the transfer, and honestly I don't even fully know why. I guess it's just, it would make it even bigger in my mind, I guess, if I was getting a lot of responses from people in real time.
Yeah.
I'll probably post something tomorrow, but I just wanted to chill today. What do you feel?
Excited. I'm ready to go. Let's do it now. Yeah, I'll get started.
So Grant's actually going to be taking the day off of work tomorrow. He's not allowed to come in or anything, but I am going to be able to FaceTime him during the process, and he's going to be waiting in the car and ready to drive me home. But this is not something where I have to go under. And from what I've heard, it's a very easy process. It's nothing like doing an egg retrieval. An egg retrieval is much harder to go through.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm a mess, and I feel like there's a lot of things that I've thought about today and I've thought about saying, but just more than anything, I'm so thankful and so excited and so ready for this. And thank you a million times more. I feel like I say thank you in every single vlog, but thank you again for everything. Thank you for all of your sweet support. And that's it for this vlog. We are gonna go to bed. I'm so tired. Thanks. I love you. Bye.
Bye.